Welcome to Venus Fest 2020 live stream. I'm Sook-Yin Lee here speaking with Meg Remy of US Girls. Hello, Meg.
Hello.
This is really funny. Is this the first time you've done this sort of thing? This is my first time.
I have not done very many things like this alone. Usually there's someone who helps set it up for me but I'm doing this all on my own this time.
Can you tell me where you are right now? It's looking a little basementy.
My laundry room, ripping my landlord's internet from above me.
You're stealing your landlord's internet.
It's true.
You know, always problem solving.
Stealing. He says it's okay. He gave me the password.
Are you doing your laundry at the same time?
I didn't want to bug him and be like, can I use your internet and come into your house and do it? I'll just go under your apartment.
That is, you're always problem solving. And there you are in the basement getting your landlord's Wi-Fi. That's fantastic.
Yeah, had to do it.
Meg, your latest album, Heavy Light, was released. It was uncanny timing in March, just as the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? What went through your mind when you had to cancel your tour?
Well, it's so many things, very complex. Obviously disappointed to not get to perform with the group that we had put together and travel with those people and we had a lot of people singing in that group. So the idea of singing 30 days straight with, 6 people was just 7 people was going to be an experience that I'd never had before. I was really excited about seeing my vocal abilities grow over those 30 days. But I would have to say that the overall feeling was, I felt grateful that nature was making the choice for me to stay home. I had been feeling for a long time that maybe touring was not the best idea for the world, touring in this way, but I was never strong enough to make the decision on my own, to not tour. And I felt a sense of relief to be like, okay, I have to actually just stay put and try and do things from where I live and get smaller.
That's really an amazing thing. The idea that you felt that touring you had that inkling that touring wasn't where you should be putting your energies. Why did you feel that way? Is it just the amount of waste that it makes, or what is it? What are those qualities?
I think it's wasteful for sure. Also, it's not healthy. It's really not healthy on the people doing the touring, from respiratory infections down to hemorrhoids, you know what I mean? It's just like lack of sleep, not really being centered other than in the performance space, kind of. And yeah, and a little bit the illusion of that tour is an illusion. I think even if you're a massive person who's selling out arenas or something, there's an illusion there. But especially on the level that I was touring at, it's kind of a lot of lying or something, like a lot of promotion and stuff that it's not really actually accurate. And it makes you have to think about stuff that isn't music, and it really taints music, I think, in a way. So yeah, I was grateful to stay home, and I know that sounds weird or something, but I've been focusing on learning guitar. So that's been something that, I really don't think I would have been able to do on the road the way I've been able to do at home. And I had a garden for the first time this year. Usually I'm on tour in the summer, and can't do that. And I started to, some plants from seed this year, which was an amazing process, and I learned a lot. So, with everything, this pandemic is insane. It's bad. It's obviously it's so fucking skewed, and but there are always, in the worst things, there are positives, and or we have to try and find them, or else what is life then? I don't know.
That's an amazing thing. So it was an opportunity to reset and center yourself. How have you changed your working process in terms of making and distributing, sharing your music?
Uh, since COVID, I would just say like I haven't been sharing much. I've just been kind of being studying and writing and learning guitar, but really taking the opportunity to try to learn a lot, read as much as I can, and understand who I am and the things I need to work on, and where we are, how we ended up here, and how I'm a specific player in this drama and how I can be a better player.
How do you think you will adapt your working process and given this idea that you're centering yourself, reevaluating where you want to put your energies? It sounds like you can't really go back to that old model. So what will that model look like going forward? I mean, it sounds so great that you are taking this time to take in and absorb as opposed to constantly
Yeah.
expressing. But
I really don't know how it will change. It's interesting in relation to Venus Fest, where since COVID, there's been lots of pressure from, you know, people at my label or something wanting me to do live streams and all this stuff. As you can see, like that, it wouldn't do well doing live streams in November.
I love your basement
But like,
situation. This is
you
fantastic.
know, but like there's been lots of, oh, you got to do this and you're going to lose your
Oh
spot
my
if you
God.
don't maintain it or something. And how I, that's why when Venus Fest asked, do you want to do this? Do you want to pre-record 20 minutes of music? It could be anything you want that a visual artist is going to respond to. It was like, yeah, I want to do that. I actually do want to do that. That's
Yeah.
something that is like, that's worth my time. That's worth other people's time, perhaps. That's something that's going to exist for a while. It's not going to sound like shit, whatever. Not that things can't overcome streaming sound quality. Obviously, they can, but like, it just was, I think just being more intentional of the things I choose to do. And when I do choose to put something out there, like think about why, and like, is it because this is something I need to do, or am I responding to an album cycle pressure, or like, just these kinds of things of just doing things for a reason that isn't to be living post to post.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking with a producer, a movie producer in Los Angeles, and that's an epicenter of all kinds of upheaval right now.
Yeah.
And she's saying that so many people are reevaluating their lives. They're ending their relationships with their agents and their managers. They're readjusting how they are, integrated within the industry. There's a lot of bullshit in this industry. So it's really sounds like it's a really put a magnifying glass into how you want to be involved in this place. You're very much you're a U.S. girl, and you are a legal Canadian woman. And you're a person who's brought politics and passion and insight to your music. And what's that like to see your home country literally burning over this pandemic, the upheaval during not only COVID, but all of the speaking out against injustice and Black Lives Matter, and now seeing it burning. What is that like to be watching your home country from the vantage point of Canada?
Well, I don't know. I feel it's always been burning since I was born. It doesn't feel, it feels very the natural evolution of a country that is founded on rape and pillage and profit. And so this is what comes of that. It's interesting, the vantage point of being in Canada, which is I'm grateful I'm here. I am. I just renewed my health card the other day, and I was like, this is crazy. I didn't even have to pay for this yet. Then 2 days later, it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. I could only get a health card because I had an address, you know? And it's just like, okay, what if you don't have an address, so you don't get a health card? Like, how does that work? So, although Canada, I'm grateful to be here, and it's a different thing than the states. The states is like on steroids level of disintegration. It's very hyper real, hyper speed occurring. I do think that Canada, I hope that up here we don't get too distracted by just thinking, thank God we're not the States,
Yeah, it's all
because
kind of an
we are.
integrated system. It is
Yeah,
it's a very much like this.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, it's just what's going to happen in the States is just, my mom used to always say it always comes out in the wash. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like what is going to be is going to be. It's going to, this course was set so long ago. I really, even with the pandemic, COVID and stuff for the world, it's wild because we're in so many other pandemics, like the plastic pandemic. I'm just like, COVID is not the only one. It's like we are in there's an imperial pandemic. There's a capitalist pandemic. There's a patriarchal pandemic. There's, oh, yeah, a
And
not being in our bodies
your
pandemic.
response as an artist, though you are beginning to learn how to play guitar and you're gardening for the first time, where do you sense your response to the world, the world circumstances? Where do you find yourself moving towards one way or pulled the other way? Do you feel where do you feel your interests kind of veering to?
Oh, I'm really enjoying studying, and I really can't say I'm trying to live like now, like
Mm.
right now, Sook-Yin, I'm with you right now. And so I'm like here with you, not fully, but I'm like, this is what I'm doing right now. I feel like if this has taught us anything, it's like make all the plans you want because, but like it could go, like, yeah, you have
It's
all
so
this stuff planned. Well, that don't mean shit. So
yeah.
like, I don't know. I'm trying to be now, trying to just get into that mindfulness because I've spent really a whole life being stuck in the past while projecting the past on the future and just like stressing. And like, I'm really trying to break that up. So,
That's beautiful. Um, One of the other focuses that the festival is interested in is the idea of within the industry, music industry. There's been a real sort of demand and push for inclusivity.
mhm.
This is kind of it's a a complicated word. Can mean many things. It can manifest in many ways. But what do you think that means to you? And are we successful? What needs to happen or not happen?
I've been thinking about this a lot in relation to like biodiversity in nature, of that each thing has its part. Each thing has a really specific thing, and they're all different things, and that isn't really the that we have to. That's what I just wish, is that if every person was allowed to be themselves and was valued as just, you're a person, you're not greater than anyone else, you're not lesser. It's just like we're on this level and we understand that as a human species that we contribute, everything we do has an action, an effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we understood that more fully and could be in that, and that you were more focused on being you, the unique being that you are, not pointing out to other people you're like, either you're not unique or, do you know what I mean? Like, I just wish that we could just be. I wish that we were allowed that. But by I think that labeling things and separating us and keeping us apart is a strategy so that we don't communicate, which is what I think is breaking down now. Is like, no, yeah, we're all different. Each individual is different, but we have to communicate. And that's what's beautiful is when you get to bask in someone's uniqueness. Like when there's some crazy flower in nature, right? That's this insane flower that like makes itself for this one other bug. And then you're like, ah, and that clicks together. How beautiful. But still, yet that flower is unique than the other one that's of its same. I'm rambling now, but
What I sense is like inclusivity being allow everyone to shine. And yeah, the fact is everybody has an effect. And we've been reared in a society where we've been told just fall in line and that you actually have no effect. And that's completely untrue. Every action, every thought, every engagement, everything has an effect. We have an effect.
Every single person. That's like how I can't, I have a hard time, we're here having this conversation and we're talking about things that I think are really important. And yet I'm doing this on an iPhone that I know how this iPhone was made. You know what I mean? So although I think we're at a time where there's this really amazing conversations happening and movement occurring, it's that interesting. The paradox of it is a lot of it's occurring through tools that are being made basically by slaves.
I know.
iPhone is made by children in the Congo. So you're like, okay, how do we do this? Which is why I think almost the inclusivity needs to become a thing that is actually we need less, not less people. It's not a like, it's the things that we need as humans and for the world is we don't need new inventions. Actually, we actually just need to stop and be fucking quiet and listen and reconnect with nature, with ourselves, and understand. Because I don't think that we need more websites or we need more thing or we need more. We actually just need less. And that's the other thing when that's so hard too. Like we're streaming right now. And when you look into the energy that it takes for video streaming to occur, I think a lot of us often think that the internet is a free resource that just appears out of nowhere, like magic, when really it's a resource like coal, like anything. Like servers are powered on coal, gas, like it's not renewable. It's actually, there's that person that did that calculation, which has been kind of controversial, but like that the amount of energy for Spotify, like to run Spotify is already like greatly surpassed the energy that it took to like press all vinyl records in the 70s or something. Like that's like extracting the oil, refinery, like all of it. It's like,
Yeah,
so then
it's
we're
very
like,
to be confronted by the hypocrisy and paradox of engagement. The idea that I just read an article where, so many people showing up for Black Lives Matter protests and actions and wearing garments made by companies that essentially hire slaves to make their, clothes, like all the brand names. So it's
none of
like,
us are exempt.
how do we even navigate that? It seems kind of it seems huge, and then yet we are here talking and hopefully sparking some ideas. So this idea of inclusivity leads you to feel a wish to simplify.
Yeah, or just like inclusivity being that each individual sits with themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like inclusivity, meaning that every individual is going to try and do the work. That doesn't mean you got to spend a bunch of money and go to certain therapists or get these books. It's like maybe even it's just sitting and not doing anything for a minute. And
not doing this.
But then whatever, life is so hard and like it's so like there's no judgment. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like everything is whatever happens, is okay. You know, we don't, I was just on the phone with a friend when we were saying, like, we don't even know what this is. Like, we don't even know what all of this is. We think we do. We think because we put names on it and we've, like, you know, discovered things and invented things, that we got an idea of what this is. And we don't know what this is. We don't know if you die and then you're just like right back where you started. You don't know if you're just floating in a black mass the rest of your life. It's just like, we don't know. So my life has gotten better for me, more manageable. The least I try to figure out what other people are doing almost. It just be focusing kind of more on myself and trying to be honest with myself and real with myself, and say unpleasant things to myself about myself, and try and shift and understand my role, and try to be able to make those decisions. Like, you know, when I knew I shouldn't be touring and I didn't have the strength to make that choice and I needed a pandemic to make it for me, listening to my instinct going forward and saying, if I have this inkling, I probably shouldn't do it. And not just do it because don't just keep doing it because it's easy or it's what everyone else does or whatever, you know, just.
Or to make money. A lot of people make these decisions because they need their livelihoods.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
Yeah. But this is the thing. That's why I don't know what we gotta do, but that's why I'm so angry at the fucking government, you know, like, and I'm angry that I even reference it and that I even give it that energy, because it's like, what is the state doing for us? Like, CERB is so weird because CERB isn't for everybody. And yet we're like, oh, thank God for CERB. And yes, thank God for CERB. But like, how are we still doing this charade about money? And like, how is this still going down?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, because, you know, it's that same quizzical feeling that you have looking at the universe and going, what the fuck's going on? I wonder if that's going to be happening within larger levels of government as well. If I mean, this thing is happening, and everyone's kind of scrambling. Many people are taking advantage and spinning and trying to profit from this. Yeah. But at the same time, there's a kind of unknowable aspect, and will it have to reconstruct our whole sense of society? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
We will see. It's going to be, I mean, something like that's got to be coming, because there's eventually, I mean, which is the one positive thing about looking at the states, is it's like something might shift there.
End of an empire.
Well, it has to. You can't put that many people in that broad of a landscape under one fucking dude in one word. You can't say this is this country. That is so disrespectful. Talk about there's no saying like, no, but the Southwest is a completely different landscape than the Northwest. And the people that are born in those things have completely different necessities, which is what's interesting about equality. Like, the word equality, I think, is misleading, because I don't want to be equal to fucking Trump. I don't want whatever Trump's got. I also, if you break it down a level, like, if I live in a wet climate like the Northwest, my needs are totally different than someone that lives in the Southwest. So I don't want my needs equal to someone in the Southwest. That's, again, that if we are all allowed to have our diverse needs that we need, based on who we are, where we grew up, our family, our trauma, whatever, that we're allergic to the certain type of food or whatever. Like, if we are allowed for a diversity of needs, I think we'd be getting somewhere.
Meg, it's been so great to connect with you in your landlord's basement. And I'm so happy to hear that you're doing well.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I look forward to hearing
you. Thanks for talking to me.
It's been great to speak with you.